Hello, is Tanya there?
Who's calling?
This is RJ Bates calling about your property on Martell Street.
What's your name again?
My name is RJ Bates. You had entered this on my website saying that you wanted to sell that property.
Yes, but you're in Texas?
I am in Texas.
So why do you have interest in Pittsburgh, Mass?
I buy properties all across the country. I'm a real estate investor.
I see. Okay.
Are you looking to sell it?
I am.
Awesome. How much do you want to get for it?
So I'm starting negotiation at 150. It's listed on the ML, or not? It's not listed on MLS. It's the town assessor or whatever. It's comped at close to 300, so like 278 or something.
Okay.
The deal is it's dirty inside. My father was living in it for a number of years, and I did not realize the extent of the hoarding and dirt. So anyway, a lot of it is gone out of there. There are extra carpets on the floor, which can be rolled up to expose the original flooring that was there.
Right.
There's no actual damage to any of the walls or anything, but it definitely needs upkeep. It has good plumbing and new electrical, new fuse box. It has a new roof, new deck. It's all encased in windows, the deck.
This is the call I want in my 10 minutes.
It's 2 units, 2 family, and it's within like 1 minute of Pittsburgh State University, but it's far enough away from it that you're not close to the dorms and the riffraff.
Gotcha.
If that makes some sense. So, like, you might have slightly older or graduate students if you were interested in renting.
Well, yeah, that sounds amazing. I mean, that's exactly what we're looking for.
It's two kitchens, 2 bathrooms. They're full baths with shower or a tub, and then 3 bedrooms per unit.
So it's your property, but your father was living there, but you're the actual owner, right?
Yes, my father lived there. He took over both units, because there is an interior staircase with a door at the bottom and a door at the top that separates the 2 units. But you can also get to both units from the outside. So there's 2 egresses per unit.
Gotcha.
Anyway.
Well, when you say it's funny because you say it's dirty and you said there's a lot of dirt. Like, you mean it's actually like just it needs cleaning, right?
Well, it needs like a dumpster and the remaining stuff to be thrown out, and then yes, there's the walls are intact. It's structurally it's good.
It just needs love. It needs like someone like me to come in and just rehab it.
Definitely needs a bathroom update. New kitchen cupboards. There are some new but very dirty appliances in there, and there's also like 2 brand new washers. One has been used, so it needs a cleaning inside. The other one's only been used. I used it for 2 loads. It still has all the plastic on it and everything. So there is a washer dryer hookup in the unit. So those could be used. The refrigerator needs some TLC, but it's all what's that called when that like we have here, the stainless steel? It's like stainless steel flush.
Gotcha.
Finish, and then there's a flat top stove in there, but there is also gas, which I've had shut off now, and a gas stove. So it has both stoves. I mean, you could clean one, swap it out if you wanted the He's in Texas.
Who would you have? This is my
Can you hear him?
Kind of.
Okay, it's the place needs a lot of work. It was, when they put the value of places in on the computer.
Yeah, like the property tax records.
No, it's simpler than that. It's like if you want to see what a neighborhood looks like, you click on it, and then it click on the house. It shows what the house is.
The street view.
Yeah, the street view, and it shows what the house is currently valued at, that kind of thing.
Right.
It shows up at over 600,000. So one might ask, yeah, I'm not kidding, but what? So,
In Pittsburgh.
in Pittsburgh, yeah.
Shut up.
No,
That's insane. Anyway,
it needs a lot of work.
Gotcha.
I don't want to waste your time. I don't want to waste my time. We're
saying 150 for negotiation. I think it's worth looking into. It's a great property with rental potential. The whole neighborhood is being currently built up. They're busting through a nice street that connects up through towards Route 2 nearby, and the side yard is available for purchase to the property owner for $300 plus, because you're in a butter and it's just a lawn. It would expand the property and give you expanding ability to, if
put a
you
parking lot
wanted
there.
to put an add-on to the existing structure or a side yard just for kids or whatever you wanted.
So you said, sorry, you're kind of echoing a little bit on me, but you said that side yard right there is for sale for $300. Who's selling that?
The town.
The town is offering that property.
Would be a butter.
Yeah, they're going through the.
Would be a butter. So that's currently on the table, and I have all the paperwork.
They're going through the town, and they're trying to clean some of that stuff up. They're getting tired of spending tax money fixing stuff up that they,
They don't want to mow the side yard because it's a vacant lot.
It's a vacant lot, right? So so they're offering it to the abutters.
Because they want someone to mow it or stuff or do something with it rather than the town having.
So that's a very positive thing. So
Right.
The negative thing is that
Property taxes are $3,000 a year for both units, the whole property. So it's $300 a month.
Yeah.
It's equitable, and the renting costs are about $1,700. So it depends how nice, like you were to sort of fix the place up and who you're renting to. Essentially, they get about $4,000 a month income.
so he stopped. He was living there paying the rent and the utilities, and we were covering what part were we covering?
Well, we owe $1,000 in back taxes.
Yeah, right. So but he just decided to stop paying his bill.
Gotcha.
Just decided to say he got my wife to sign a sheet of paper, and all of a sudden I'm getting all the bills from Pittsburgh, and I live in New Hampshire.
No.
So we said that ain't gonna work because I can't afford his place and my place.
He is in a nice independent living senior facility.
He was also getting old enough to probably be there.
And he wasn't letting us in the house anymore for like over the last year. So we had no idea what he was doing in there, and he was just being dirty.
Yeah. So hence what appears to be an expensive place that we're not asking a lot of money for, and we want as is on the property.
Right.
And we're motivated. We own it outright, so we're not dealing with any kind of banks or anything. It would be just a cash sale, simple. Just
I've got 4 or 5 acres and 3,000 square feet I just retired and I'm busting my ass just trying to keep track of my own place. I can't keep track of somebody else's place that was trying to trash it. So
Understood.
So I said, I'm being as honest as possible because I don't want to mislead anybody and start and have to argue with them or whatever. I just telling you, if you are motivated and you can do that kind of work and have the ability to clean it out and do all that stuff, we just want out. I'm 65. I'm just trying to get out. I can't take care of my 4 acres.
Well, we don't want, like, if the back taxes go 12 months, let's say, unpaid, then the town's looking to put a lien or try to take the property, and we don't want to forfeit it either. So we're motivated.
Right, and
because right now we're not in a financial position.
And I'm paying my own set of taxes when I'm retired. So
well, you didn't know you were going to retire. They kind of let you go earlier.
No, I'm 65.
Well, now, yeah, but still.
I can't work forever. No, they cleaned house a little bit, got rid of the little gray-haired massacre. I was an executive at GE.
Gotcha.
And it's just one of those things. They change organizations, and then all of a sudden you're stuck at this in-between age where you got a lot of experience in towns, but they don't want to hire a 63-year-old guy, for example.
Right.
Because they'll leave and, spend a lot of money and then
training them and then they retire.
Well, and unless you have a very specific skill set that they really, really need, it's really hard to find a job when you're in your 60s. And doing what I was doing, and I was, I have an MBA and I got my master's in engineering, and I was not a slouch for sure. But at any rate, so we retired a little bit earlier than expected. So it's been
contracts in their email.
To keep everything on the straight and narrow. Pay all our bills.
But also find out a place who's juggling everything for the last finally.
And we wanted to find him a place that he could afford on his Social Security. All right, a clean, nice neighborhood. We found it. He was of course, very, very angry with us because we were kicking him out. But and we found him a nice place to live for about a quarter of the price. He was getting supplements or whatever. So it's some percentage of his Social Security he has to pay, and he gets to live there, and it's nice.
Right.
And it's a nice property, so it didn't turn out too badly for him. He just dumped all his bills got dumped on ours.
Well, if we had the money to fix it up, I think it has a lot of potential. A lot of investors that when it was first purchased and then the work's been done, like the on-demand hot water heater was installed. There's the new deck on the outside. It's all encased in glass to help with maintaining. So it's kind of like a signal.
Can you go online and see the actual property? Is it in front of you?
Yeah, I wanted to tell you guys, I didn't want to interrupt y'all, but I've already looked at it on Google Street View, pulled my comps, run my numbers, wrote up a contract, and emailed it to you. So
you're our best friend.
I was just letting y'all talk. Like, hey, I'm going to let y'all get this all out, but I'm ready to go. Let's do this.
Well, the thing is we want to be honest. We wanted this to be an as-is purchase.
No contingency is like to find excuses, tie us up, where we have a bunch of taxes, more taxes owed, because we're holding the bag, and then the deal falls through, or you're looking for financing, or whatever, all these stupid loopholes to try to get out of it. I don't want to risk that and then be left sacrificing the property.
So
yeah, so we're just a serious buyer who understands. And the honesty up front is really important because you understand
what they're walking into.
what you're walking into.
Yeah. So here's my thing. I do have contingencies in my contract because I'm buying it sight unseen. So we're gonna go out there, we're gonna walk the property, we're gonna get our bids back from our contractors, but you guys are being more than fair with the price. That is a very templated contract that I use. This is, I mean, what is the access availability? Because I know you guys are in New Hampshire. Is there a lot box? Is there a way for us to get out there? Because I could probably get out there either today or tomorrow to do our walkthrough.
I could have the property unlocked for you
Okay.
for a period of time, and you can walk through.
Yeah,
Or we can meet you.
we can meet you there if you can get up here. Then where are you from? I thought you were from far away.
I'm in Fort Worth, Texas, but
Okay.
like I said, we do this for a living. So I've got Christopher right there in Fitchburg, and he could be there whenever. So
Okay. So why don't we?
Do you want? Can he be there at like 1:30?
I might have to check with him and see. But here's what I'll say. I mean, I just being honest with you guys, like this is how our process works, and it's exactly what you guys are looking for. I completely understand your situation with the property taxes and wanting to get this done. That's what we offer. I mean, obviously, as much as I appreciate like y'all's transparency about what's going on, I have a pretty good idea of looking at the property from the outside. I also understand that this is a duplex, so this is a play for cash flow. So that limits what we're going to do on the rehab side of things. Like, for example, it's not a flip, it's not a single family house. So we're not going to be trying to fix it up to the nines to then sell it for as much as we can. We're going to fix it up so we can put probably 4 college students in there to tear it up for the next couple of years and then rinse and repeat, right?
Exactly.
And I also understand that, you know, the hoarder situation, what's going on there. I think you guys have set a price point. That's why I'm not even beating you up on the price. I mean, I have a feeling that I could have easily come back and said, hey, 140, and y'all probably would have said yes to that. I'm not trying to beat y'all up because I also want you guys to accommodate me on my process. So the way that works is I send you this contract, you sign the contract, we open title, we go out there, we do our walkthroughs, and then we close. I set a closing date for the late August because Massachusetts is an attorney state. Attorneys are just notorious for being slow. So I would like to get it done quicker than that, but it's on or before that date. So we'll try to get it done as quickly as possible, but I'm what you guys are looking for, and I don't foresee there being any issues. We're not going to call you and say we don't have funding or anything like that. You guys can Google my name. You can Google my company's name. I've been doing this for quite some time. I've been an entrepreneur since 2010. I've been doing nothing but real estate since 2015. Bought and sold over a couple thousand properties in all 50 states. I do this at a pretty high level. So what I like to do more than anything is get on the phone with sellers. I am the owner of the company, but this is what I love to do. I love to get on the phone with sellers and talk to sellers about their situations and say, hey, we're the solution for you, and we can get this taken care of. And
Let's set up a meeting with your guys. Yeah, we can accommodate
We
that.
would need a contingency like money up front or earnest money or however that works to become current on all the bills and taxes. So I think it's like 2,000 in taxes and then like gas and water. Where I don't know, it's like $100.
They
I
are
don't
not.
know. It's not a lot of money but for us to do.
I totally hear you, and I don't want to cause an issue, but like I can't give you money up front. And the reason why is because we need to understand that you have clear title. Listen, we run into some of the craziest scenarios ever. I mean, I had a husband that was selling me a house in Texas for $50,000, and his deceased ex-wife, who died in prison, had a $250,000 judgment on the house for all of the money that she laundered. I mean, and he didn't even know that existed. You know, so sometimes there's just things that come up where it's like, and not saying that that's going to happen on this deal, but
we're not laundering any money. I barely get my.
That's what that guy said. He was like, she laundered that much money? Where was it? I never saw any of that.
She never washed my underwear.
I mean, dude, we actually, funny enough, because she died in prison, we got a hold of the judge, and the judge wiped it away so the husband could sell the house. So we actually got that resolved, and we were able to get the deal closed. But that's what I'm saying, man. I mean, we're realistically, I mean, as far as the property taxes go, I mean, I think you're okay if we can get this closed in, like, you don't need to pay those property taxes. They come out of the proceeds at closing.
Yeah, I was thinking about correcting my wife, but God knows I'd never do that.
Yeah, definitely don't use your own money. Use my money when I give it to you. Like, it's just the town will be okay. They'll get their money in like 30 days. As far as the utilities go, I mean, honestly, as long as we can get in there and do our walkthroughs and just verify that everything is working or not working, I mean, it doesn't matter either way. Pretty sure you can turn those off pretty quickly. So we just have a way of doing things, like for you guys, just to give you an understanding of where we're at right now as a company, and I'm just wanting to be as transparent to you guys as y'all were to me, right? I'm under contract for 67 properties right now. You guys are going to be 68. So I don't put down like an astronomical amount of earnest money or anything like that. I just tell you, hey, I have full intentions of, in August, giving you $150,000 for this property. That's what I can promise you today. And if you want to do that, then let's do business. If you're worried about, contingencies or earnest money or other things, that's where it's like, hey, I have a way of doing things just like Open Door has a way of doing things. And there's reasons why we do it that way, because this is what we do for a living. And we see all of the crazy things that can happen, don't happen. But the reality of it is 75% of the time when we go under contract with somebody, we make it to the closing table. The other 25% of the time is because more often than not, either the seller just flat out lied about the condition, or there's a title issue where we can't close. And you guys have pretty much told me the condition is terrible, so doesn't look like you lied about that. So
and we have the title, so
there you go. So we should have zero issues whatsoever making it to the closing table and getting you guys that money.
We have the deed. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
That's the same thing.
Yeah. Well,
I'm an engineer, not a real estate guy.
what I mean by title issues is like, for example, the city could go out and, clean something up or mow the grass or something like that. And they could put a lien on the property. The title attorney pulls that and says, hey, like, for example, that's how they find out that there's a mortgage. A mortgage is just a lien on a property. They find out, hey, there's a lien, we need to pay off. And so at that point in time, those title attorneys, they go and get all the payoffs. That's what I mean by title issue. Not that you don't have the title. It's that something else is owed on the property that's unforeseen. A lot of times what it ends up being is that there's a lien and a mortgage on a property that ends up being more than what the property is worth, and the seller doesn't have any money to sell the property at that point. You guys own it free and clear, so it's fine.
I'm going to put you back on with my better half. And notice how I said that after I made fun of her a little bit. Anyways, we'd like to meet your representative.
Yep.
Give him a tour.
See if he's free today.
I just sent him a text message. I'm seeing if he responds.
Okay, I'm going to give you back. Just find out whether or not we've got it for.
Do you?
Make sure you got the email.
Yeah. Do you guys want to look at that contract together real quick so I can answer any questions y'all have?
Nine Martell Street, titanium prop.
That's me.
What does that mean?
My company name is Titanium Investments.
Oh.
So my email is titaniumprops.com.
Now this is Dropbox sign. 72523 Tanya R. Titanium Investments, 9 Martell Street, Pittsburgh, Mass. Purchase price $150. Accept this document becomes a binding contract when accepted by the seller and signed by both buyer and seller. If it is not accepted and signed by the seller prior to 7/29, then the contract shall be rendered void. Date of 8/31. The closing will take place on or before 8/31. Today is 7/24, I believe. 7/25.
No problem.
That's we have to accept or reject what this is we're reading.
That makes sense to me. Yeah.
Do I have to accept your cookies?
Well, it's not my cookies. It's just Dropbox sign. It just lets you, just do it. It's not doing anything. It's kind of just making sure it knows where you are. So if people will ever come back and say, hey, I didn't sign that contract, it says, well, yeah, you signed from this IP address.
Cool. No worries.
Seller explicitly agrees to allow buyer unfettered access to the property to conduct inspection, meet contractors to retain proposals for work, to send prospective end buyers to visit the property, and other legal and necessary reason to access the property. Seller understands that if proper access is not immediately provided to the buyer, then the closing date of this agreement will be automatically extended per the discretion of the buyer, determined by the delay the seller has caused in their due diligence process. Seller agrees to extend at any point which they cause an impediment to the closing process. Pictures and access. Agrees to provide immediate access to the buyer by providing a key in a lockbox. I do not have that.
You don't have to do that. As long as we have access, that's all we need.
Okay, the seller agrees to provide the key to a representative of the buyer, and the buyer will place a lockbox. Well, that helps. Let's do that.
Okay.
Inspection. This contract is contingent upon the buyer's partner inspection and approval of all property prior to transfer of title. Seller agrees to provide access prior to transfer of title for inspection or repairs. Renegotiation based on condition. In the event the buyer inspects the property and the condition of the property is not equivalent to the stated condition provided by the seller, then the seller understands major issues that are not fully disclosed to the buyer at the time of the offer, and execution of this contract may require the seller to renegotiate this contract based on the undisclosed conditions that were withheld by the seller. I am unaware of any conditions to disclose to you. In this event, the seller agrees to renegotiate the purchase price of the contract within reason to accommodate for the extra work not accounted for in the original purchase price agreement. agreement. If the reasonable repairs are excessive and the purchase price does not exceed the seller's debt on the property after deduction for undisclosed conditions, then the buyer agrees to let the seller out of the contract and render it null and void. My husband asked if that happens often.
Yeah, it happens in that 25% range, but that's more of like when people tell me their house is in really good condition, and then when we go out there, we have to explain to them that it's not in really good condition. You guys have told us that the house is in really bad condition, so it's kind of like, you know, it's more of when someone lives in the house and they're emotionally attached to it and they think they have like a beautiful house, but it hasn't been updated since like the 1960s. And
yeah, that's about where we're at.
And then we're like, so see, those cabinets are not good anymore. And then they're like, well, you're offending me because they're beautiful to me. And so that's where we have to renegotiate. And a lot of times in those cases, the people just kind of say, well, then fine, we don't want to move forward. But this is a much different scenario because you're the seller that I like to talk to, where you're like, hey, this house needs a lot of work. And I'm like, okay, we're on the same page. The house needs a lot of work. I don't like it when people tell me the house doesn't need a lot of work.
Well, you've got a guy too that's in the area that can, you know, we can take him through it. We can see for himself early on.
Yeah, exactly.
You'll decide right then and there whether that's got it or don't got it.
Yeah, I mean, this is not going to be a long, drawn-out process. We're going to try to make this as quick as possible.
All right, so if you're putting on the lockbox, you have risk of loss. It says if subject property is damaged prior to transfer of title, buyer has the option of accepting title. The buyer has the option of accepting title to the property in as-is condition at an adjusted price or canceling the contract.
This means if the house burns down prior to us closing, we can either renegotiate the price or I can terminate because I don't want to buy it anymore.
Okay, so I'm granting you unfettered access, quote unquote, you said. So
Yeah, I mean, that's a very attorney word.
I don't think anyone would burn it down unless they were in there burning candles or something, maybe.
I know. It just means if something like if a storm came through and lightning struck it or a tornado wiped it out or, you know, I mean, it's like you can't force me to still pay $150,000 if like something drastically changes about the house before we close.
Well, I hope not. All right, so real property taxes will be prorated based on the current year's tax without allowance for discount, including homestead or other exemptions. Rents will be current and be prorated as of the date. I don't understand what that is.
Well, your property is vacant, so there's no rents to be prorated. That's if there was tenants paying rent.
Okay, prorate. House being sold as is, where is. Seller warrants subject property to be free from hazardous substances and from violation of any zoning, environmental, building, health, or governmental codes or ordinances. Well, if you bring a town inspector through, they'll probably say the place is very dirty.
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, this is more like, hey, you can't sell me a meth lab and I can't get in trouble for buying a meth lab.
Okay, it's not a meth lab, but he is a gardener, and there's lawn and leaf litter, compost, and organic matter.
I am perfectly fine with any of that. I just don't want to buy anything that is illegal. So
No.
You're good.
Nothing illegal, and that's a very happy state. We're in New Hampshire. Massachusetts is like decriminalized marijuana and everything. They're the state.
There you go.
You don't have any of that.
So and there's none. Buyer shall have the right to assign, sell, transfer, market, pledge or otherwise convey any and all rights or interests which the buyer may have in the property in this sales and purchase agreement. So you could market the contract to another buyer?
Correct.
Are you planning on doing that?
Potentially. It's definitely one of the things that we do for sure. So for example, what I can do here is like Titanium Investments LLC is one of my entities. One of my other entities is Zombie Flipping LLC. So what I can do there is I can go to a lender and I can say, hey, I want you to give me $175,000 for this property. So Titanium Investments would then make $25,000 on the purchase of this. And that allows me to then have capital for my holding costs on this property. So that's one of the reasons why we would assign it, is to just have a little bit of extra capital upon purchase. The other thing is if I have an investor that comes along and says, hey, I want to buy this property from you for $175,000. I want to have the right to either decide to assign it to them so I can make the $25,000, or I can keep it myself and purchase it the same way I just explained to you. So it just gives us the options. Majority of the time, the assignment clause is in there. This is more common in like commercial contracts, but it's for the funding situation or assigning it to other investors that are willing to purchase the properties. So example, like I said, we have 67 properties under contract right now. I'm not going to take down all 67 of those properties, especially if I'm looking at a property that I'm going to flip to make 30,000. If I've got someone and I don't have to do anything and I can make 5 to 10,000 on it and they're okay making 20 to 25, I'll just go ahead and do that. Same net to you. Nothing happens. Nothing changes for you. It's just a different exit strategy for us.
Right. Okay. So I'm not wanting a whole parade of people in and out of the property, honestly. I was looking for an acid cash sale so I can just, you can come in, look at it, or have the contractor look at it and then make an assessment, and then.
I promise you there will be no parade going through the house.
Okay. Thank you.
It's going to be very, very simple. Honestly, the only thing I need from you is that we're going to put that lockbox on there. You meet Christopher. That's really the only thing I need from you, and then some communication, the title, and then you're kind of done at that point in time.
So, who are we doing the closing with? It doesn't say.
I think you skipped over it. It was right underneath the closing date. I had it at title clearing and escrow.
So it says this is an all-cash transaction. Purchase price is net to seller, subject to prorated taxes.
Yes.
There you go. So that takes care of the taxes. It says, let's see, prior then the closing date of the assignment will be automatically extended. It's talking about extending the closing date, but it doesn't say where it will take place.
Are you talking about like a physical location or who's going to handle the closing?
Oh, it does say title clearing and escrow.
Correct.
Okay.
That's who we use for our title services in Massachusetts.
Do we meet at a physical location to do the signing?
I mean, you can if you want to. Majority of the time when you're not local to the property, the title company would just send a mobile notary to you. But if you want to, you can drive to the title company or the attorney's office to do your closing. I personally am not going to come to Massachusetts. I will have a notary come to me and I'll sign at my office.
It's a nice time of year. Please talk about it.
What'd he say?
He said it's a nice time of year. Hey, you don't want to come visit? The buyer shall have the right to assign.
Oh, I come to Massachusetts probably 3 times a year. My son plays travel hockey, so we're always in Boston, Rhode Island. I mean, I've spent more time in Canton, Massachusetts than I'd like to admit. So,
You do the opposite thing, huh?
oh yeah, that's why I got to buy so many damn houses just to pay for his hockey.
That's from Texas, I can understand.
Hey, we like hockey down here in Texas.
I know, I used to live in Texas a long time ago.
Oh yeah, what part?
San Antonio, my dad was in Korea.
Okay,
And I worked for military places that, I can leave the country.
gotcha.
I think things that you generally don't talk about. But part of it was in Texas.
There you go.
I love San Antonio. It's gorgeous. They still got the water down there, right? Now.
Yeah.
He has his email address for him. Well, he sent a link to DocuSign that
I can't hear you.
Do you want me to send pictures of the town thing showing that the side yard is available for 300?
No, but I'm probably going to want to buy that. But we don't need that right now.
Okay.
But we'll figure that out. But I mean, yeah, for $300, why would we not buy that?
Okay, so did we meet with can he what's his name, Chris?
Christopher.
Can Christopher help with the lockbox situation?
Yes.
And so he can do that today?
I am still waiting on a text back on if he can do today or not. I'm going to assume the reason why he hasn't responded back is because he's probably on a phone call. But if he can't do it today, whenever he can do it, it'll be this week. Yes, he'll be able to do the lockbox for sure.
Can you give them more information so we can we have to arrange time?
Yeah, absolutely.
So tomorrow, have you heard of Ocean Properties, something, I don't know, Ocean State Properties or some shit like that?
Sounds like my competitor there that moves too slow.
He wouldn't give me a purchase and sale to even look at, and he wants to meet tomorrow at 1. But if you can meet today or prior to that, I mean, I already have a purchase and sale to look at. You're working more along the lines of what I would be interested in working with.
I'm ready to rock and roll. All I need you to do is sign that, and we're ready to go.
Oh, okay. Well, I want to talk to Christopher and walk through and see what he thinks, and he's gonna take photos and stuff probably.
Yep. Here's the problem. You're skipping a step in my process. Before we come out there, I want you to sign that contract because I don't want to get bamboozled when I waste Christopher's time. And then you say, ooh, I signed with Ocean State Properties or whatever they're called. They're not even in Massachusetts. They're claiming Rhode Island over there with the Ocean State name.
Are they really?
Yeah, that's what Rhode Island is. It's the Ocean State.
Okay, so is this your phone number?
It is. Well, it's the office phone number, but yeah, it's my line.
So I'll be able to get you.
Yeah, just ask for RJ Bates.
Can I call you in like 10 minutes so like I can have a conversation with my husband, and then see if you can get a hold of Christopher, and I'll talk to you in like 10 minutes. Does that work?
Can you make it 20?
Absolutely.
Because I need to take care of something real quick. But just
So let's say 1 o'clock.
all right, yeah, that's perfect. Okay. What I will say is like I totally get that this is an important decision for you guys. You got the property taxes and stuff like that. Just sometimes it can be this simple. I'm not trying to beat you guys up on price. I'm not trying to make it a difficult process whatsoever. But we have a reason why we do everything. The reason why we don't come out and look at properties before we get the signed contract is because if we were doing that, there would be many, many times where when we come out, they say, hey, the price changed. We sold it to somebody else. We're meeting someone else after you. So we did that.
Very transparent. They had called me and couldn't fit me in until Wednesday. So,
But see, I'm not slowing down the process. I'm trying to speed up the process, which is what you guys want.
Okay.
So yeah, have a conversation about it and give me a call back, and let's get this deal done today. Okay.
Excellent. Thank you, Mr. Bates.
All right. Talk to you guys soon.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Well, that's happening. That's happening.
Oh, I tried to call you.
Yeah, sorry. I don't know what happened. I guess the transfer didn't go through. Apologize about that.
It wasn't a transfer. I was just on hold.
Oh, well, I think she was trying to transfer it over to me. It just didn't go through. So what'd you guys decide there?
Well, I ran the contract by my daughter, and she's a Massachusetts and New Hampshire attorney, and he felt that the contract was not in our best interest because you're getting unfettered access. You're able to market the property. If you don't find a buyer or an investor interested outside of your purchase, then you only lose $10 and can walk away.
That is correct.
But you are putting a lot of onus on me and liability, and if you were serious about buying, you would put serious earnest money down to prove that you were interested in buying, and it didn't make sense that I would give you unfettered access, and also for full disclosure, you said you would disclose the fact that it is currently an uninsured property.
I would disclose that. I'm not understanding.
No, I, as the seller, have to disclose that it is currently uninsured by homeowners insurance.
Okay.
So that, I guess, presents a problem for you as a buyer, that you would have to eventually seek coverage. But because
Well, I'm going to have to get my own coverage anyway, so it doesn't matter that you guys don't have coverage on it. I mean, that's my decision as a buyer, and I'm not like buying your insurance policy. I go get my own policy.
right, I know, but she said full disclosure. That is something that I do know of, and we went over the issues. What was the other issue? Oh, it says that the buyer is Titanium Investments, and then there's a signature at the bottom, but there's no indication that the signature is yours. There's no name printed out, and the signature is not legible. And then the company name at the top doesn't indicate who the representative is at the company that's actually making the purchase, and that's an issue. It's a red flag, she said.
Well, yeah, I'm the sole owner of Titanium Investments, and then when we open with the title company or an attorney like your daughter, they would request my entity docs, including my operating agreement and the articles of organization that would say that I am the sole owner of the company.
Oh, so it's even simpler than that on the contract. You can put Titanium Investments, comma, President, CEO, and your name. RJB. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, I don't have a problem with that. I mean, the issue there is that RJ Bates is not buying this property. Titanium Investments LLC is buying the property. So, I mean, I can do that if you want. Again, I mean, I can remove the word unfettered. I mean, that was literally just a word that was used by the attorney that I hired to write this contract. I just.
Well, she's saying I'm unprotected and I'm holding full liability, because if you have people, marketing it to sell it for $175 and you buy it for $150 and you make $25 and you get out, or you don't, nobody's interested, possibly. I don't know what the deal is, but anyway, I would get $10. You could walk away, and I then have my property off the market until the end of August, and then I'm getting towards winter, and it becomes an issue. And then I'm looking at possibly losing the property to the town.
That could happen.
Well, if you're gonna walk away at the end of August, I felt like Earnest money fairly is some percentage of the purchase price, so that if you did decide to walk away, at least you proved to me that you were seriously interested. And then I have money to then extend my ability to offer the property to other buyers, because the taxes are current.
So how much earnest money do you want if I walk away at the end of August?
That's a good question.
I mean, because again, I explained this to you guys as the reason why I don't do that. And I said, I hope that earnest money and us gaining access and all of that doesn't become an issue. Because that's why I was transparent with you guys and I explained it as the reasons why I do that. I have no intentions of not buying the property. I have every intention of buying the property. So at the end of the day, their attorneys are always going to say, hey, and I know it's your daughter, but I mean, attorneys are notorious for looking at contracts and saying, hey, you're not protected in this. Well, of course, my attorney wrote this, not your attorney. So it's always going to be lopsided one way or another. I mean,
well, so it's lopsided your direction, and then
right, because I'm saying I'm going to give $150,000 for a property off of a conversation that we've had, and I'm trying to make this a smooth and easy.
That's what I'm saying. Why can't we meet with Chris today? Let's go through the property and see what he says, and then make a serious offer.
Well, this is a very serious offer for me because I am saying that I'm going to give you $150,000 for the property. That is the first thing that the contract says. Everything after that is just a disclaimer off of that. But this is a very serious offer. So I don't want you to think that I'm not serious about it. I mean, I'm as serious as can be about it. But I cannot and I will not change my process because I have done this far too many times where the exact same conversation. Can you guys just come out here, walk the property? We come out, we walk the property, and then things change. It's, well, we want to meet with Ocean State home buyers tomorrow, or the price isn't $150 now it's $175 because you said you might be able to sell it for $175.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm trying to work with you. I just don't want to get screwed and be facing winter because no one's gonna. I don't even want to be meeting with people and all that in the winter, trying to unload the property financially. I mean,
the reality of it is on the earnest money side of things, All that is me taking money out of my pocket and putting it in an escrow account. So everybody feels warm and fuzzy that I'm going to do what I'm saying I'm going to do, which is I'm going to give you $150,000 in August.
That's it.
150,000, right?
Right. In August.
So, but if we're warm and fuzzy, doesn't that earnest money come off the purchase money?
Yes, but it's literally just sitting in an escrow account for nothing really other than just to make you think that I'm serious.
Exactly. So I don't see where the issue. It comes off the purchase price, and it's prior to it comes off the purchase price. So
The reason why I don't want it there is because there's really no reason for it to be there other than it makes you feel good that I'm saying I'm serious, even though I'm saying I'm serious and I'm sending you a contract saying I'm willing to buy the property for $150,000. Like that should be the priority here, not about all of the other things that could happen negatively.
but you're saying like if you find something, then you have to renegotiate the price. You're forcing me into a negotiation with you. I'm over the barrel with you. Do you know what I mean?
You don't have to say yes if I try to renegotiate, but I'm also telling you the reasons why I have that in there is when people tell me,
If I don't say yes, if we have to renegotiate, I walk away with $10 earnest money. Do you understand what I'm saying?
well, actually, you walk away with nothing because the earnest money is refundable during the inspection period.
No, I don't know that.
Yeah, and that's even if I put $100,000 earnest money down, it's still
It doesn't require inspection.
I still have a right to walk the property. I'm not going to ask you, as is means I'm not going to ask you to repair something, but I still have the right to go out and make sure it's what I want to purchase.
Fair. But the unfettered, like having a bunch of people come parade through, like that's what I'm trying to avoid. I just want, for the sake of the neighborhood and everything else, just kind of get it.
All the reason why that is in there is so if we want to go send an electrician to the property, I can go send the electrician. There's a lot box. The electrician pulls up. He goes in. He gives me his bid. I send a plumber. He goes. Instead of, hey, it's not like we're going to have walking open houses where we just have tons of people coming in and out of the property. It's so we can make preparations for the asset that we're purchasing that you're saying, hey, it needs work. We have to make preparations for that. It's not just about, hey, $150,000 and then in August, then you can prepare. We want to be prepared for the moment that we close. We have an obligation to our private money lenders and our staff and our families to make sure this is how we feed ourselves, is that we have to come in and be prepared for that. So if the access is a problem, then we can talk about that and we can change it. But I mean, it sounds like the word unfettered is a trigger for you. And I have no problem removing that word, but it's just about, if you want this to move fast, we need the ability to move fast.
Okay, so if you're preparing for repairs ahead of time, what if these contractors are telling you that the bids are somehow where you don't want them or something? Who knows?
That's where we come back and we have a conversation with you and we say, hey, there is a major issue, which, by the way, you would want to know that because it's currently your asset that you're trying to sell. So if I come to you and I say, hey, there's a major issue going on here, at least you're getting it from a professional standpoint and you're going to know that moving forward. But like I've told you, I think that this is.
Have to hire somebody else to get a second opinion. I don't know who the guy is who assessed it and said X, Y, or Z about it. I mean, I don't know. I just
I mean, this is going to be every buyer that wants to buy the property. I mean, they're going to need access to be able to have contractors to look at it and say, yeah, I can do this.
Don't you normally get contractors after you purchase the house?
Absolutely not. No.
My brother bought a house and they weren't allowed to gain access until they had signed it over or whatever. They finalized the sale and they went in and got contractors.
No, I bought literally thousands of properties. I would never buy a property without being able to walk it and verify that I can do what I need to do to the property. I need to turn this into a livable rental property.
Okay, how about this? You have Chris walk the property. You decide if you want contractors. I meet with them and you, can we like get some idea in a short prompt period of time?
I'm not trying to be difficult, but no, I'm not going to change the way that my process works. I'm not going to come walk the property until I have a signed contract. That is my system, and it's how we do things. And there's a reason why we do it. For 5 years, we did it that way. 2020, when COVID hit, we changed. And I realized, wow, this is a lot better. We don't waste time going out and seeing properties and getting contractors. I don't waste Chris's time. I don't waste contractors' time coming out and looking at properties, and then I don't end up getting it. I mean, case in point, on this right here, you said, hey, I want $150,000 for my house. I said, here's a contract for $150,000 for your house, but now there's issues. You've sent the contract to your daughter. She doesn't like the way the contract's written. I have no idea what issues are going to potentially come up where you don't want to sell me the house. I'm giving you exactly what you want, and you have issues with it.
I'm not going to have an option. This is a purchase and sales agreement, meaning I give you full ability
to buy it for $150,000.
So it's tied up, and then you come in with contractors and everything, or decide if you need to renegotiate. You're getting a full assessment of the investment potential for this property with no risk to you, only $10. Does that make sense?
It's not just $10. It's the time, the effort, the resources. And for you, it's going to be the exact same with every other buyer. Every other buyer is, and no one is going to put non-refundable money up front to then come in and do the due diligence on the property. No one would do that in their right mind. Everyone's going to do the due diligence and then put up non-refundable money, if they put up non-refundable money at all. That's just how it works. So, I mean, listen, at the end of the day, I'm willing to give you $150,000 for the house, but I cannot change the way that I do business. It's too risky on my side of things for me to do that.
All right. How many visits to the property do you require?
It's as many as it's going to take for me to be prepared to do what I need to do to the house. If I need to send an electrician, if I need to send a plumber, if I need to send a drywall guy, a painter, a cabinet guy, I don't know until Christopher goes over there. We get the pictures back. We do an analysis on what we want to do to the property. Then we're going to talk to the contractor. Sometimes it could be a general contractor. Sometimes it's going to be individual subs that we need to send over there. That's why on a vacant property, we say, hey, let's just put a lockbox on there. You guys don't have to meet us 100 times, and we go take a look.
Yeah, but I'm also accepting the liability that the place isn't going to burn down or what is actually taking place on the property while I'm not there with the lockbox. I'm held legally responsible.
I mean, these are professionals that, I mean, this is what they do for a living, is they go look at properties. I mean, no one's going to go over there and set the property on fire. I mean, this is.
Well, can you Can you put your name on the contract in addition to Titanium Real Estate?
So you want the buyer to be Titanium Investments LLC, and then you want me to put my name there, or do you want it to say courtesy or signed by RJ Bates? I don't understand what you want there. I've never done that.
Because I need to know who at the company is supposed to be qualified or whatever to sign a purchase and sales agreement.
Well, I am the signer for the entity, and I would be providing that to the title company. That would show, hey, I am the sole owner. I mean, I can put it on there, but honestly, my signature is on the contract.
But you can't read it. You don't even know what it is. You can't tell it's RJ Bates. I mean, I don't know. And there's nothing text beneath it so that you can make out what the name is. It's just a scribble and a date. And Patience said that's fine because, I mean, technically a signature can be an X.
Right. I mean,
But the issue became you don't know who at the company the signature represents, and do they have the authority to do whatever she said?
Right, but the attorneys are the ones that verify that. I mean, I guess I don't understand. It seems like we're digging for a issue. I mean,
No.
No, I'm just trying to understand.
And what's the legal description? FITC, and then it says M0064 B0050 L:0.
that is the legal description for your property. So that's like your lot and block number, and I just pulled that off of county records.
Okay. Well, did you get a hold of Kristen?
No. Right now, he says he's not available today. He's trying to figure out what time he's going to be available tomorrow. But I mean, honestly, I've told him at this point I'm waiting to have this conversation with you guys to see if y'all were interested in signing the contract or not.
Yes, I'm interested. I just don't want to be in trouble over it, or to then be looking at September 1st, which is my birthday, by the way, then trying to find another buyer. Do you know what I mean?
I totally understand. I mean, you guys have to realize from my standpoint, I mean, I am saying I am willing to give you $150,000 for this property, and I don't get paid when I cancel contracts. Nothing beneficial happens when I send a termination. Because every time somebody goes out there, they're either expecting me to hire them for that job, or they're going to want to get paid for their time. So I immediately start taking on liability from that standpoint. That's why I don't go out and send these people out to the property prior to having a signed contract. Because I've lost contractors that way. I've lost people from my business where they say, I can't go out to 9 Martell because the last time you sent me out, I wasted my time. So I have every intention of closing on this property. I mean, I just don't know how else to express that to you guys. I mean, I know it's an important decision for you guys, but it's just as an important decision for me and my company as well.
Okay. Can you text your name where it says buyer and then put your name under there as well, so that it's clear whose signature that is? That's all I ask.
Yes, hold on one second. Okay, so for me to make a change, I'm gonna have to cancel this one. So I'm gonna cancel that one real quick.
and then I don't even know how to change unfettered. Just say, I don't know, only for the purposes of evaluation. I don't fucking know. Now I'm all paranoid.
Seller explicitly agrees to allow the buyer access to the subject property. Just take away unfettered. Does that work?
What does access versus unfettered mean? I don't know what the difference is. I don't know. She like has a baby and she's at work and blah blah blah, and she doesn't, my daughter's busy too. I don't know. Witness death. The seller, in consideration of the payments, covenants, and agreements and conditions herein contained, which on the part of the buyer are to be made, done, and performed, has this day sold upon the conditions herein after recited to the buyer the real property legally described as 9 Martel Street.
All that's saying is the seller, in consideration of the payments and the agreements and the condition herein on this contract of the buyer, me, are to be made. So when I pay you $150,000, you have sold the property at 9 Martel to me.
Hey, can I ask a question?
Yes.
I don't have an answer. So, when 150, when was the 150,000?
At the closing.
On or before August 31st.
That's what's the answer.
I'm sorry, he's very quiet. What do you say?
It puts an end on it one way or the other.
Yeah.
Sort of.
I mean, it's
We don't want to go forever.
Well, he could go into renegotiation based on if he finds something he doesn't like.
Yeah.
just so you know that anybody could always renegotiate a contract. At least I'm just telling you up front that I have the ability to do that, and you have the ability to say yes or no. If you say no, I have the right to close for $150,000 or terminate. But like I've told you, the reason why I have that in there does not really pertain to you guys, because you've already told me this property is in really bad condition. So this is more for when people say my house is in great condition and it's not. And I say, okay, we have a problem. We had a little story time, and the story wasn't true. So I don't see that happening with you guys, just being honest with you.
Yeah, we were straight up with this part.
Yeah.
Not that I'm not being straight up with tomorrow. We were straight up. We don't want to be straight up. We don't waste time.
So this one is now null and void. I can no longer sign this one that has your signature. You would be forced to sign it again. Is that a problem?
Yeah, no, I canceled that one because I'm changing the stuff that you want changed on there. I'm going to send you a new one. So I'm writing Titanium Investments LLC, signed by RJ Bates III, the managing member of the entity. Does that work?
Sure.
Okay. And then you want the word unfettered gone. I deleted that.
Say to allow access to the property solely to conduct an inspection, meet with a couple contractors for proposals for work, and to send prospective end buyers to visit the property. Can we omit prospective end buyers or no?
Sure. I mean,
because you are the prospective end buyer.
Yeah.
I know that you would look possibly for someone who might be interested to invest. I guess I have no way of policing this. You could technically do whatever you wanted. If I wasn't there and you had to walk off.
Okay, I deleted that. What else?
Are you sure? Are you looking to sell the place? Do you think?
Well, it's like I told you guys. I am going to go in there with the intentions of purchasing this. That being said, if I have somebody that is willing to pay me more money than what I have this under contract for, then I'm going to have a decision where I say, do I want to take this property? Do I want to take the work on? Or do I want to take whatever that person is willing to pay me and make a decision at that point in time? That is irrelevant to you guys and what happens to y'all on y'all's 150. That doesn't change. That's just, it's allowing me to make decisions on my exit strategy on the properties. Because I make money two ways. I either make it when I sell properties or I either make it when I rent properties out. In this case, I have to do work to then rent it out, but it's in a location that's near a university. Could be great cash flowing asset for me for quite some time. I still want the opportunity to be able to sell it. And I'd want to be able to do that whenever I want, because that's how I make money.
Okay, so what would happen if we made the closing date on or before August 15th? That'll give them a little more than 2 weeks, so 3 weeks.
Well, let's see. We've got 4 days.
Today's the 26th.
6. So that'd be 4, 9,
So that's almost a week.
14.
And then August is like 3. It's almost 3.
That's a 16 business day closing in the state of Massachusetts. I'll be honest with you. I do not foresee many attorneys in the state of Massachusetts being able to move that quickly. So I just foresee.
Why do these companies, like I reached out, hence I found you, and they say they can close in as little as 7 days.
Well, we can. It's, do we have the ability to get an attorney in an attorney state to have the ability to do that? Now, for example, here, like in Texas and like 40 other states in the United States, there's title companies that they move much faster than attorneys. So that's majority of the time when you see those ads, that's what we're talking about. Like I've closed a deal here in Texas in less than 24 hours. But that's because it was a title company and they had the ability to do that. Just being honest with you, majority of the time, attorneys slow the process down. So it's not necessarily us. It's, are we able to get a title commitment? Are we able to get all the docs drafted? And then are we able to get things scheduled and done? I mean, like I said, the closing date is on or before August 31st. So I want to get it done before, because again, I don't make money just sitting in escrow. I don't make money waiting on it to close. I make money when I have properties rented or I sell it, and I want to get that done as quickly as possible.
Do you have any?
What if we say 7/29/23 is not accepted and signed prior to 7/29? So we're gonna say 7/25,
Okay.
and then we're gonna say 8/25. That gives you from today around month.
Okay. I'm okay with that.
Okay.
Okay. What else?
I don't know. I also don't know who title clearing and escrow is.
That's the company that we use in Massachusetts for our closings for the title work.
Where are they out of?
I have no idea. I would have to look that up. They're out of Massachusetts.
My question on that is because title clearing and escrow will hold the earnest money, and they also handle the transfer of title, correct?
Correct.
This purchase and sales agreement is not the same as signing the title over to you, or is it?
No, it's an agreement that you are selling me the property to transfer the title. I have to pay you before I own it.
I see. Okay. That sounds good. I don't. In an event the property is in any way encumbered in such a manner as to delay the closing date or prevent the close of the sale due to liens, judgments, or legal instruments. The seller agrees to cooperate fully with the buyer to clear any encumbrance. Documentary evidence to the title company to clear the issue and or payment in full of the amount of lien or judgment preventing the closure of the purchase. The seller understands it is their sole responsibility to rectify any encumbrance, and these debts are owed by the seller, and the buyer is in no way obligated to reduce the contract price commensurately. That's not great. Well, I don't have any legal liens on it, but like if you're like parading people through the place, or they don't like organic waste, or they smell bad, or because I mean technically there's cleanup to be done. I mean, is that gonna be an encumbrance?
No, an encumbrance would be the city filed a lien on the property because you didn't mow the grass, so you owe $200,000 because they mowed it that many times. That's an encumbrance. An encumbrance would be you have a judgment against you, and they filed a lien against the property, and now you owe $500,000 to the federal government. I don't have to pay that. You have to pay that. That's what that means. So if you don't have any liens or judgments or anything like that, then you're fine. You
I
don't,
have no idea. I am unaware of any.
I mean, just being honest with you, I have you pulled up on a system that would show that you have no liens on the property. So
Excellent. Okay. So, can you email that then?
yes,
Thank you.
We appreciate the time.
Yes, you've been very thoughtful. Yeah.
So you're gonna sell me that house in New Hampshire?
It's in Massachusetts.
I know. I'm talking about the one that you own in New Hampshire. Don't you own a house in New Hampshire?
We don't own it. We live in it.
I was like, hey, let's buy another one.
It's worth about
What did he say there?
I've owned it for 30 years.
He's owned it for 30 years.
I got you.
Prices have gone up. Sits on about 4 acres, about 3,000 square. Nice place. Raised with the world.
So what are y'all gonna do with this money once you get it?
Paying off bills, unfortunately, and helping members of the family and such. So nothing wild or crazy. Maybe try to put some. Hopefully, there'll be something left to maybe invest in some way.
No, we might get some.
I got you.
No, we do have some issues with the house here to be repaired.
I'm retired, so when you get boosters and no shit, there's nothing else to savings. You know, I'm not getting my Social Security check yet. So if we were to sell this place, it would be, back up for years. Something like, I had some ice breaking through the roof about a year and a half ago. I had to replace the whole bathroom.
Mm.
That's the kind of thing that I would use it for. It's not working. You only get your monthly.
Hey, do you want me to change my signature to where it's super legible?
No, whatever your normal signature is fine. I just wanted it indicated as to what signature is that. I mean, I can kind of see it might be fake, sort of. I don't know. Not to judge your signature, but just to make it clear that if for any reason.
Well, at one point in time, I wanted to be a sports player. So when I was in high school, that's the signature that I came up with, where I thought it was super fancy when I took the S and I circled it back around, and that's how I crossed the T. So that's really what it was. It was just when I was 14 years old, I thought I was going to be like a professional. I was okay with hockey, baseball, or football, either three of those. Come to find out, I wasn't good enough at any of them, but that's how the signature came about. But the email is in your inbox now.
Thank you. So I guess I'll take care of that, and then have Christian call me, I guess, and we'll try to go from there. Then you change the dates, correct?
I sure hope I did. Let me make sure. The only date I didn't change was the acceptance, because it doesn't matter if you sign it today, then that just gives you until the 29th. I changed the closing date to August 25th.
Does that null and void everything in any way if it doesn't close by that time?
The August 25th.
Yeah.
The only reason why it wouldn't is at the bottom. It says time is of the essence. With this agreement, each contingency contained herein shall be satisfied according to its terms by the closing date, or this contract extends 5 business days to provide time for satisfaction of said contingencies. Each party shall diligently pursue the completion of this transaction. Each warranty herein made survives the closing of this transaction. So what that means is like, for example, if title could not be cleared in the time frame of August 25th, the contract automatically extends for 5 business days, so we can get title cleared. But realistically, yeah, I mean, if we don't close by the 25th, it pretty much just voids out the contract unless you extend it.
Each warranty herein made survives the closing of the transaction.
That's actually a protection for you, and for both of us. Basically, just saying that this is the contract that after we've closed, this was the contract that we used, and it was the agreements that we put in place. So if anything were to come back for whatever reason, I'll be honest with you,
Then
that's
you could come back to me and complain.
not really, because you're selling me the house as is where is. But like, for example, say there was a judgment on the property, but for whatever reason, the title company didn't find it. Now that's why I buy title insurance. But say for whatever reason, that lien is your lien, not my lien, and you're agreeing to that. So it can't ever come back on me. So yeah, it does survive the closing of this transaction. And I mean, we could go through each one of those, but realistically, it's about as this is about as simple of a contract as there gets. I mean, like, when you look at the state promulgated contracts that are out there, there are 7 to, I mean, the Alaska contract's like 12 pages or something. I mean, it's crazy the amount of stuff that they have written in those. So we try to simplify it as much as we possibly can. And I totally get why y'all are asking as many questions as you are, because you just want to make sure you're not getting yourself in a bad situation. But realistically, this is basically just saying, hey, you're selling me the property for $150,000 and it's a cash transaction. You're selling it to me as is.
All right, one question then. Since each warranty made survives the closing of the transaction, one of the warranties that you have is that it will be free from hazardous substances. I have no idea. Violation of any zoning, environmental, building, health, or governmental code or ordinance. That means surviving the sale of the contract. Beyond that, if you were to find something that I am totally unaware of is there, you now have warranty to come back on me and demand refund of the purchase price.
Not necessarily, because part of this is known defects or facts regarding this property, which would adversely affect the value of said property.
So all you have to do is have a contractor go through the place and say this is bad or a health concern, or report it. Now I'm over the barrel and I have an issue because I have a known issue that I'm expected to remedy to be able to sell the house, because now I'm in knowledge of something. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what my father had over there. I know what he told me. I haven't chemically tested everything or know what's in like a can or jug anywhere in the house. Like, I don't know.
That's not really what this is for. This is more of like, realistically, this is not mainly about houses. This is mainly about vacant land, where if there's like known substances, either something like that underground, knowing that the soil couldn't be built on or something like that. This isn't really, we know that we're buying. I mean, that's why the first line of this is house being sold as is, where is. We know that the house is not in good condition. And also just there's.
Well, can you add that to maybe to the add this section that you are aware of, like organic material and whatever?
How about I just delete it? How about I just delete everything and just put a house being sold as is, where is? I really don't care. I mean, I've literally, like I said, done thousands of transactions, and this has never been something that has ever come up either post closing or during the closing. So I am fine with just deleting it and just put house being sold as is, where is. Are you fine with that?
Well, does it go without saying? I mean, does Massachusetts law protect buyers, and that is the verbiage that needs to be in there? I don't even know.
Massachusetts doesn't care. Attorneys will care. I mean, because that's how they get paid. I mean, for me and you, it's just an agreement between me and you. So it's whatever we want in there. Attorneys can say that they want you to have something in the contract and me to have something in there, but that's just so they're protecting their own butts. I mean, from my perspective, I don't think that there's any chemicals growing underneath this ground or underneath this house or anything like that. So it doesn't bother me. I'm fine with just deleting it.
But yeah, I don't want that to be a possible. I have no idea what issues I'm facing, and I just need someone to be willing to do some of the legwork to get this stuff done and not get me entangled with any like town ordinance or bullshit, or like I don't need extra shit. I have no idea what's there. I gotta be honest.
That's what I'm saying. Once you sell the property, though, you're done. I mean, it's over with at that point.
The warranty survives the transaction.
Do you want me to delete that? I mean, I'll delete that sentence. I don't really care about that sentence either. I just want to buy the house. Just being honest with you, I'll delete the whole damn contract and just say you sell me the house for 150. I mean, I don't really care about all this stuff. Just being honest with you, this is written by an attorney, and I don't ever even look at these things. So I mean, I'm okay with deleting the each warranty herein made survives. You want me to delete?
Each warranty herein made. Ceases or ends or something, the closing of the transaction, each warrant.
Why don't I just get rid of the time is of the essence clause?
Shall be satisfied. Well, you can extend it 5 business days to provide time for satisfaction of said contingencies. So who's doing the contingencies? Is that me?
No, that's like the title company is the attorneys are going to be the one that are doing that. So it's just saying if they don't have the ability, they don't have clear title yet, then we have the right. The contract automatically extends 5 days. I'm okay just deleting this, so it's not even on here.
Okay.
Let's do that. All right. Is there anything else? Because now I gotta delete this other one.
Well, it does say each party shall diligently pursue the completion of the transaction.
Yeah, like for example, all right, I'll give you a good example. Okay, I'm buying a property in Akron, Ohio for $5,000. Okay.
Wow.
All right, so this seller has a previous mortgage on the property. He's paid it off. He owes $0, but he did not get the release of lien from the mortgage holder. So the title company sees that there is a lien on the property. We need to know how much. It's for $0 because he said he paid it off, but the title company has to know that that's $0. The seller does not know and cannot remember his mortgage loan number. So the title company is saying, we can't call the mortgage company to get a payoff of $0 to get the release of lien without that. He can't find it. So now here we are, and we can't close until he provides that. So it's not on us that we didn't close on time. We're waiting on the seller. That's just an example as why we would have that in the contract. But I mean, I'm okay with it. Just
we're diligently pursuing closure because I am now forfeiting my right to show this property to anyone else, correct?
Yeah, well, I mean, you can show it to whoever you want, but I mean, you can't sell it to them unless I don't close. You can't sell the property to multiple people.
Makes sense.
I deleted it. I'm resending you another one.
Oh, God, thank you. I don't even know what I'm doing. I could be making my situation worse. You realize that, right?
I mean, all you're doing is just deleting half the contracts. I mean, at this point, it's just becoming more and more cut and dry. I like it because we're getting rid of all of the craziness that attorneys put in contracts. I don't even, you know how many times I have to answer questions about these things with sellers, and I'm like, I didn't put that in there. I've never even used it. It just exists. I don't want it to be there. So let's delete it. I'm happy.
Okay, we're done.
All right, hold on. I'm sending you a new contract.
All right.
All right. I just sent it.
Okay. You emailed it?
Yep.
Sorry, that page doesn't exist. Perhaps the following will help you find what you're looking for.
All right, back out of that one. There should be a new one that came through. It just probably hadn't gone through yet.
I like it. I like that part. The acceptance date is supposed to be 7/25.
Yeah, but it's okay because if you sign it, it just means you have until the 29th to sign it. If you sign it today, I mean, cool. You signed it before 7/29.
But then it shows that you had 30 days to do your diligence, right? All right.
No, all that date means is I gave you until the 29th to sign the contract.
Okay. There's my full signature.
Hey, I'm just saying, whatever signature you put in there, you better make it very legible, okay? Because you gave me a hard time for my signature.
Dollar phone number.
Did you?
How do I put my phone number in?
I didn't put you in there. I got your phone number. You're good.
What'd you sign in?
And then it says seller buyer on the bottom. What's that?
That's if there's two sellers or two buyers, but there's not.
Okay. Right there. Right there, that little box. It has my name at the top, so now it has his name at the top. Please. That's all out. I don't know. God bless you. Are you a God-fearing man?
I am.
Good.
Did you know I'm also a huge New England Patriots fan?
Excellent. Well, I was during the Brady years. I don't know what's his name? No.
Mac Jones.
Mac Jones. There you go.
Yeah,
They kept him again.
I know.
My buddy's got season tickets for the Bruins.
Does he?
Yeah.
Dude, that was brutal what happened to the Bruins this past season.
Yeah.
It was very hard to watch.
Just, I mean, geez, greatest regular season ever, and then just ran into a freight train with the Panthers. I mean,
Yeah, it was the last couple games too.
yeah, that was.
They were ahead in the series.
I know, 3-1. That was.
They do. Yeah, so I'm a Red Sox and Patriots fan, but I'm a Boston.
Right. Yeah, when my son and I were up there, I think April or May, we went up there for a tournament, and we spent time at Patriots Place, walked around, went saw a movie, and just did all the things. I watched a couple of years ago, the Cowboys played the Patriots at Gillette, and I went up there for that game.
When you went around, did you go to the Raytheon? Did you go to the Raytheon Center?
No, what's that?
They had a lot of the movies and stuff. They sponsored a bunch of the stuff for the Patriots. I used to work for them.
Well, maybe. I mean, it was the one right there.
Yeah, it's that one.
Yeah, the one right by the gaming place and behind the bowling alley and all that.
Crafts there? We could see crafts through the windows, kind of.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I got a couple of times I won tickets. They gave me tickets to the suites, and Kraft was like 2 suites over.
Yeah, we didn't get to meet him or anything.
Yeah, I asked him. I said, I got a deal. And they wouldn't let me in. I don't understand why.
That's hilarious. Well, I see that you got it signed. So congratulations. You're now under contract to sell your property.
If you need Bruins tickets for me.
Oh. Well, I might have to take you up on that. My son, he always gets mad at me because we haven't gone to a Bruins game. Funny story. So, you know, down here, we're big Dallas Stars fans, and our rival is the Nashville Predators. We went to Nashville a couple of weeks ago for our tournament, and my son, he goes, hey, you're buying something at the gift shop because every time we go to a tournament, you never bought anything. You didn't buy anything in Boston. You didn't buy anything in Chicago. You didn't buy anything in Columbus. So I ended up with the ugliest hockey jersey in existence, that yellow Predators jersey. But I bought the Matt Duchene jersey, and later that day, Matt Duchene signed with the Dallas Stars. So now I claim that it's just because I'm the general manager of the Dallas Stars. That's why I own that. So
I love it.
since he turned around and signed right with us later that day.
Let's do a good job here. I get your ticket.
There you go. All right, guys. Well, congratulations. Thank you for trusting me. I know it's a big decision, but I'm going to try to make this as smooth and painless as possible for you guys. Let me get in touch with Christopher, figure out. It's probably not going to be a date since it's already 2:00, but let me figure out when I can get him out there and get this process going. And
I call the other guy and cancel my appointment.
well, good. I'm glad you did that. Was he heartbroken?
No, I have to do it right now.
Oh, you want me to do it for you? Call him and be like, you were too slow. All right. Well, hey, I appreciate you guys. Y'all go enjoy the rest of your day, and we'll talk to you soon, okay?
All right, yeah, when do I expect to hear something maybe tomorrow for Kristen? And I don't know how we're moving forward.
So the next step is that this contract is going to go to my transaction coordinator. He's already got it. He's going to send it to title clearing and escrow to get that sent off so they can start the title process. You'll probably get an email from Keaton that says, hey, congratulations, we got your signed contract. It just a very templated, like, here's what to expect moving forward. And then on my side of things, and I have a whole team underneath me, so you might hear from some other people on my team, names that you might hear from: Garrett, Josh, Justin, probably one of those. We'll reach out about the scheduling of the time with Christopher, and those will probably be what you'll expect either today or first thing in the morning. So you'll get that email, phone call from them as far as the time goes of when we're going to be able to get out there. So those are kind of the next steps.
Excellent. Thank you.
Thanks for your time.
Realistically, guys, just understand you don't have a whole lot to do from this point on. So don't expect to be doing a whole lot. It's kind of pretty painless on y'all's side of things. It's like you're probably going to have to provide some information to the title company.
Who knows what could happen? I will listen today. Oh, God.
Could you say that again, please?
You might have to you're going to have to provide some information to the title company, just proving that you're the seller, right? So the title, they're going to want to have like copy of your driver's license and whatnot, and then obviously meet us out there so we can gain access. But outside that, I mean, you're pretty much in the clear at this point.
Excellent.
Thank you very much, man.
All right, guys, appreciate y'all's time. Bye-bye.
Thank you, RJ.
You're welcome.
Bye.
Woo! And I looked at the screen and said, this is the one I'd want if there was 10 minutes in the Closers Olympics. Boy, I'd be going home. Holy cow.